Wow, George Soros. Wow, nice try. I want to ask you, why on earth should an external force decide what India should be, how Indians should think, and who they should vote for? You know what? As a mother of two Indian citizens and as someone who lives in India, I can tell India's enemies that this time Indians won't make it that easy for you. So the Hungarian-American businessman George Soros used strong words against India's Prime Minister, claiming that the Indian PM is not a Democrat, while adding that he's expecting a democratic revival in India. Meanwhile, India's Minister of External Affairs has referred to George Soros as old, rich, opinionated and dangerous. So let's try to understand this. Indians elected the Prime Minister of their choice democratically, right? Mind you, Indians elected the Prime Minister of their choice, not George Soros' choice. So, by undermining the government that Indians have elected, is George Soros trying to reject or insult India's collective democratic voice? Now, take a look at these latest ratings from Morning Consult. An overwhelming majority of Indians, 79%, approve of their Prime Minister, highest among all these leaders. Now compare him with the leaders of other nations. Joe Biden, 52% of Americans disapprove of him. Pedro Sanchez, Spain, 60% of Spaniards disapprove of him. Olaf Scholz, Germany, 61% of Germans disapprove of him. Jonas Gahr Støre, Norway, only 22% of Norwegians approve of him. That's how hollow these Western democracies are. These Western leaders do not even represent the true collective democratic voice of their own country, but of course, they continue to rule. Yes, the real graveyards of democracy are deceitfully presented to us as the champions of democracy. And from this perspective, it is in these Western nations where George Soros should be truly hoping for a democratic revival or a regime change. Not only that, 75% of Indians believe that their country is going in the right direction. In comparison, Germany, only 34%. Austria, 27%. Belgium, 23%, France, 24%, Netherlands, 25%, USA, 31%. So basically, most people in so many Western countries think that their nation is on the wrong track. Most people in so many Western countries disapprove of their current leader. Then why is this man, George Soros, seems to be so focused on India? Point 2. Of course, George Soros is presented as a champion of democracy and human rights, but then why did Dr. Jaishankar refer to him as dangerous? According to Alfred Maurice Desayas, who served as a UN independent expert on international order, for decades George Soros has been undermining the purposes and principles of the UN Charter through a network of well-financed proxies. He adds, Soros has financed and continues to finance non-governmental organizations that destabilize countries and subvert the will of the people. Essentially, his world vision is one of full-spectrum dominance, whereby the Western elites will continue dictating policy to the entire world with the purpose of imposing a Western-style regime change and subsequent rule by puppet governments. He explains that, at its core, George Soros' vision is the direct opposite of democracy and an attempt to establish a neo-colonial world order that takes its orders from Washington and Brussels. According to the United Nations former independent expert, the Soros network has succeeded in building a positive image of itself thanks to the fake news and fake narratives. Point 3. From spreading Christianity to spreading democracy. For centuries, the colonial criminals in the West deceitfully claimed that spreading Christianity was required to civilize or save others. And now it seems that the West is claiming that spreading its own version of democracy is required to civilize or save the world. But the West's own version of democracy is rooted in colonialism and deceit, as numerous Western democracies have colonized, cheated, or looted other parts of the world. Remember the illegal annexation of Hawaii by the democratic USA? Remember the colonization of the Philippines by the democratic USA? Remember the colonial atrocities by the so-called democratic British? Just to name a few. Perhaps that's why many Indians see Western democracy as Western hypocrisy. Perhaps many Indians who are not associated with George Soros see the old man as an external force working on a regime change in India and trying to weaken India's core democratic system. They trust neither the former European colonial powers or the USA, a country that has not hesitated to overthrow governments that stood in the way of its political and economic goals. For many greed-driven foreign institutions, India is just a big market. Capturing global markets through political or ideological domination appears to be an old and time-tested strategy in which the oppressed nations are likely to become socio-culturally, economically, and emotionally colonized. Good-hearted criticism from those who are genuinely a friend or a well-wisher of India should be welcome, but it is very important that the former colonial criminal states and their institutions understand and respect the sensitivities and sovereignty of formerly colonized nations like India. See you again.